So we've got a list of rooms that is at least populated dynamically within the app, even though it's all hard-coded in main. We showed the current room dynamically here, but we can't change rooms. So how can we change rooms? What does change room even mean? Change room means update room in the state of the main component, right? That's what we really mean when we say change rooms. We mean change the value of room in state, right? Well, right now, each room doesn't even have its own separate array. Ultimately, we will, but we want that to just happen automatically by changing this. This should be all that change room even means. Just change this and everything else takes care of itself. That's the idea. Can we make that happen? Sure, why not? But he brings up a good point. Each room right now, it has the same list of messages, right? So even before we figure out how to change rooms, we can fix that. Let's look in chat.js, where we sync state. I have messages / general here, right? So I actually put a room name in there already. It seems like that should be messages / whatever the current room is. But we'll deal with that in a minute. How do I change rooms? Well, I'll have to do it from inside main because that's the only component that's allowed to change the state of main, right? So let's add a method here to do that. I don't know, what do you want to call that? Change room, set current room, something like that. Well, set current room sounds slightly better to me. Let's call it set current room. So it should probably take a room name as its argument, right? Then what should it do? Ultimately, it's going to call this .set state, right? Probably update the room. But how's it going to get that current room if we've passed in a room name? If we've passed in the name of the room that we want to change to, how do we get that room? Yes. I want the entire room object. Ultimately, that's what gets stored in state here, right? I need this entire room object. It's actually easier than what you said. It's a little easier than that. What's that? It's easier than that. Yeah, what is it, Troy? This.state.rooms. Dot room name would look for a key named the string room name, right? Not dot. Square bracket. Remember that in an object? You can get something out of an object using a dot or square brackets. If the name of that property is held in a string, in a variable, you need to use square brackets. Because dot room name is the equivalent of saying square bracket, quote, room name. And that's not what we want, right? Room name's a variable, so we have to use square brackets. So this .state.rooms square bracket room name. And this is why I used an object instead of an array. It makes it really easy to just look it up by room name. You don't have to do index of, you don't have to do find, you don't have to do anything hard. You already have the key. It's the room name. Just look up the room name in this.state.rooms and you get your room. Update with this.setState. Let's see if that works. Go to my React Dev Tools. Let's find main. Okay, now main is $R because I've selected in my React Dev Tools. And let's say $R dot set current room. And let's pass it a room name. I'm in S3 morning right now. Let's pass it general. And it did it. It changed it to general here. It changed the description to chat about stuff. If I call set current room random, there we go. Random, cat gifts, etc. Set it back to S3 morning. There you go. What if I do something that doesn't exist? We don't have a chat room about pancakes. Whole thing explodes. We should have a chat room about pancakes. But we don't. So that's bad that the whole thing explodes. But we can deal with that later. Cool. Okay, so now we've got a method that can load a room. What do I do with that? Bless you. Add a method to change rooms. We did that, but it doesn't happen when we click a link or anything.